Evening all, and welcome back to the Kieran Clavin Racing Show. This episode covering Boxing Day and the 27th. I'm going to try and get all 15 races into one video rather than doing two separate ones like I first said I was going to do. Thanks again to all the people that liked, subscribed, and watched the previous videos that I've been putting out. Lots of content being put out, lots of views. I'm loving that. If you haven't already liked, subscribed to the channel, please do. It will really help me along the way. So let's get stuck straight into the action at Kempton. Starting with the 12:45, the novice handicap chase over 2 miles 4 furlongs, where Hendo has the favourite with Noble Park, who's won at Hereford and Lingfield, but I'm willing to take him on. And there's one I like here for James Owen called Secret Des Deux. I believe I pronounced that correctly. Currently best price 10-1. Winner at Fakenham first time out of the season before finishing a decent third at Newbury behind Mammo number 5 and Mighty Bandit. Mighty Bandit was 50-1 that day when finishing second, has come out and won since. I think that Mambo number 5 has a decent chance on the 27th, which I will discuss later on. So I think if this horse goes and wins on Boxing Day, then obviously that will improve even more Mambo number 5's claims at the weekend. But yeah, Secret Des Deux, it's a very open handicap. I know Hendo has the favourite and he's very strong in the market, but at 10-1 each way play for me for the James Owen horse. Yeah, move on to the 120, the Corso Star Novices Chase, where Kitzbühel is favourite here for Willie Mullins at 5-2. Actually, joint favourites are 3, with Wendigo as well in the mix, along with, I can't remember the name of the other one now off the top of my head. But yeah, Kitzbühel won well at Punchestown, but I think he was a bit off. He made most of the run in and then kind of dropped back and then stayed on again. I wouldn't be overly convinced by him. I know he's coming over here as first string and they haven't brought Jimmy DeSoy over, so they must think a lot of Kitzbühel just to run in on his own. But no, I'm willing to take him on. I'm going to back Wendigo. I really like the chances of Wendigo in this race. I didn't think he was going to get up in the John Frankham. I thought he was well beaten in the John Frankham when they turned in. And no questions asked, went for the race. I thought it was game over. But he just stayed and stayed and stayed and stayed Wendigo. That was over 2.5. This obviously now has 3 miles. He's going to appreciate the step up in trip. This has always been the plan. And then potentially the Browns after this. But yeah, I really like his chances here. I really think he could go close. And 5-2 is a decent enough price. And I will be getting stuck into Wendigo on Friday. I really like his chances. Then we go to the 155, the Christmas Hurdle, and this is, well, Sergino should win. 4-7 should win. Won the Fighting Fifth last year, and then obviously won the Wayward Lad over fences, beating Ballyburn. Hasn't been seen since. But there is a big but on this. Like, he hasn't been seen since the last December. He potentially had an ill-fated injury, which he could have lost his life and God knows what at the end of the beginning of this year. Thankfully, he's back. Is he going to be back to his full best? Does he need to be back to his full best to be winning this? Nico's not going to be hard on him. Like, it wouldn't be getting involved at 4-7. I really would not be. Like, people will put him in ACCAs and everything else like that. And if he's back to his fight, where he was when he won the Fighting Fifth, he will bolt up in this. He will win easy and then he'll go favourite for the Champion Hurdle. There's only, I think there's 5-6 runners in this race. Like, you could go muggy each way on Golden Ace. She'll run her race. She's done it. She's a Champion Hurdle winner. She won the Fighting Fifth last time, beating Amsterdam. What's the other one that beat Kerry Lee's horse? Can't remember off the top of my head now. But yeah, I'd have to watch the race. And if Sergino wins and wins well, then fair enough. But I couldn't be getting involved at 4-7. If he doesn't run his race, then Golden Ace will pick up the pieces as she always does. We then move on to the 240, the big race of the day, the King George. And this is a hell of a race. Django Bay currently is favourite as I'm recording at 11-4 for Henderson. Winner of the Arkle last year, won it very impressively, considering he looked well outpaced coming down into the straight. Stayed on really well, then went on and won the 1965 chase at Ascot. Well, that race completely fell apart, to be honest. Like Ile Francais and Pictory, neither of them ran their races. And Django Bay came along and picked up the pieces and won really impressively. First try at 3 miles, you'd like to think he would stay. But that's the risk you're taking. That's the question mark over him. But this race is an absolute belter. That's why you have to have all bases covered here. Factor Files in the race. I don't think he will stay. I think he's a 2.5 miler. I think once it gets... He's potentially going to be like Voltor was a few years ago in his Q card. Just, he'll look like he's the winner and then come into 2 out and then he just will he get home. He obviously got beat by Gaelic Warrior and the John Durkin. Obviously got hit the front over the last thought just to go away and win, and Gaelic Warriors managed to get back up. The Jukebox Man is interesting, but there's the bounce factor. Obviously won impressively up at Haydock, but is he going to be the same horse coming back here second time up? So the one I've landed on is Gaelic Warrior. I've really fancied his chances here. Going right-handed, he really enjoys going right-handed, whether it be around Punchestown, Limerick, etc. Fairyhouse. He's been very impressive around those sorts of tracks right-handed. Won the Durkin very impressively last time out. And I just think 3 to 1's a decent price. This has clearly been the plan. He stays 3 miles. He won really well at Aintree. So we know he stays. He's got the pace of a 2 miler as well because he's won the Arkle previously. And if he's on song, he will get a lead. He won't have to lead himself. You'd like to think that Ile Francais will take him on with the Jukebox Man close by, and Paul Townend could sit second or third or fourth and just cruise around and then pick it up when he likes. I think he's got a hell of a chance at 3 to 1. He will be the bet for me in the King George. Then 2 more races to cover. The 105 at Aintree, the Formby Novices Hurdle. Now this race has completely fallen apart. Like we had the likes of Taurus Bay, Sober Glory is mentioned to come here. Skylight Hustle and Active Innocence have all been mentioned to come here, but none of them turn up to take on My Daddy Paddy, who is 8 to 15 favourite. And if he has any aspirations of winning Supreme, he needs to be winning this and winning it well. He's not done a foot wrong yet, but then again, what has he beaten in his 2 starts up at Carlisle and Haydock? Not a lot. There's plenty of decent horses in this. If he goes and wins this well, then yes, he could be a candidate for the Supreme. With the likes of Idaho Sun, Starmount and Diamond Hunter, who all won their races very impressively. If My Daddy Paddy is the horse that they think he is, he has to go and win this impressively. 8 to 15, not a betting proposition. I will just sit and watch and see how he gets on. And then the final race on Boxing Day that we're going to cover is the 135, the Roland Merrick up at Wetherby. And I really like the chance of this horse. It's probably one of my better bets of the day, and it's Confession for John Parkinson and Sue Smith. Winner of the rehearsal chase last time up at Newcastle. Second that day was Deafening Silence, who I fancy for the Welsh Champion Earl. We'll go Welsh National, and we'll go into that a bit more detail in a second. And the third, Doc Pick Me, has won since at Doncaster. So the form looks extremely strong. Confession won 3 starts back up at Wetherby as well over course and distance. So he has the form in the book at the course. He's got decent form last time out in the rehearsal chase. And I know he's 7 to 4 in favourite, but he will take a lot of beating in the rehearsal chase. And he will be for me. We're going to move on to Saturday the 27th, and we got 9 races to cover here. I'm not quite sure why there's 9 races on ITV on Saturday and only the 7. Or the 6, on Boxing Day. Makes no sense to me, but that's ITV scheduling, that's how it goes. No more said than that. We'll start off at Kempton with the 130, the handicap hurdle. Horse I like in here is currently best priced for 9 to 2 favourite, and that is for the Skeltons. And that's My Cynthia. First run for the Skeltons after joining from the Lucy Wadham stable. Has had a wind up, and I just think going to the Skelton yard, they're going to improve for the run. I just think she will go. She's gone up in trip from 2.5 to 3 miles. The wind ups come on. Stable first time out. Harry booked 9 to 2. I think this has got a good chance of going in early doors and starting off what looks like a very good day. A good book for Harry and for Dan. For me, in this on this day, they've got really good book of horses running at Kempton on Saturday. So yeah, My Cynthia in the 120, the handicap mare's handicap hurdle. We then move on to the Wayward Lad Novices Chase, won last year by Sir Gino, beating Ballyburn, like I mentioned earlier. Not as much of a stellar field this time out. And the horse who I mentioned earlier on, is Mambo number 5, comes here. And I believe that he will take all the beating here for Ben Paulin. Winner at Aintree, first time up before winning at Newbury. The second has come out and won since Mighty Bandit. And the third, like I said, who's running in the first race on the card on Boxing Day. Hopefully can get the job done. Secret to Do. And obviously Mambo number 5 also won the Adonis on this track last year. So take plenty of beating, I think, and he will probably be one of the better bets for Saturday. I just think he's improved for a fence. Ben Paulin's chasers are in red hot form as per usual, and I think he will take a lot of beating. We then move on to the Desert Orchid over the same track and trip over 2 miles, and Thistle Ark is favourite here, and I think he's going to be difficult to beat, especially if he's in the same form he was in the Holden Gold Cup for the Skeltons. I think Harry will keep it simple. He will throw him out in front again like he did in the Holden Gold Cup. There's not much in here which will take him on either. You've got Saint Segal's reopposing. He was second that day, but he's got the best part of 7-8 lengths to find. And I just think if Thistle Ark is in the same sort of form as he was that day, I know he's gone up a fair bit in the weights, but he should be winning this as well, making it 4 on the bounce of fences for the Skeltons. And move on to the 317, the 307, the handicap chase over 3 miles. And another Skelton horse. This is like a broken record, but they've got a decent amount of horses running at Kempton on Saturday. And Prince Zoltar, who I mentioned a couple of weeks ago for the episode when I covered Doncaster, he was third that day at Doncaster on his first chase start for the Sable after coming from Philip Rothwell. I just think, again, he's going to come on for the run. The Skelton's going to have him prepped and ready to go for a big race, big pot. And I think he will go fairly close. It's around 6-1, so if you want to go mug each way, by all means. But I'm going to be looking mainly at the win purposes on Prince Zoltar. The 337, the handicap hurdle. There's 2 I've got to touch on in here. 2 that have been novices that I've got on the list to follow for the season. They both make their handicap debuts in this. First one again for the Skeltons, Double Measure. Second at Chepstow behind the Blue Room. The Blue Room then went on to finish second at Sandown behind No Drama This End. Staying on second, he will definitely be one to follow. When he stepped up in trip, the Blue Room, that's sure, probably up to 2.5, even 3 miles eventually. Double Measure was second that day. He then went to Haydock and finished 4th behind Diamond Hunter, who goes to the Formby on Boxing Day. And Masked Man, who's come out and won since. So that form looks decent. So Double Measure could be a handicap plot waiting for the Skeltons. And then the other one, who looks very decent form from last time out, but he's been very disappointing. He's come with a big reputation this season after his bumper performances, but that's Wandering Ego for Ollie Murphy. 4th last, was disappointing at Perth. Then went to the other run in between. Can't remember, but he definitely last time out he ran at Kempton was 4th at Kempton over course and distance, which was very disappointing that day. He went off second favourite, very disappointing. But then when you look at the form of the race now, it could be that he was just bumped into a couple of decent horses. Like the winner, Old Park Star, has gone on to win at Cheltenham since and has been touted for potentially a Supreme or Turner's down the line. And the second on Son de la Vie was obviously well touted by the Twiston Davis Yard at the start of the season, has gone and won at Ludlow since as well. So form looks fairly solid, and Wandering Eagle on handicap debut could be one of interest. And we then go over 4 races over at Chepstow on Welsh National Day. The first being the 105, the 2 mile handicap chase, and the horse I like in here is Bally Breeze for Sam Drinkwater. Winner over course and distance here in April. Ran at Cheltenham first time up this season, finishing 5th. I think he'll come on leaps and bounds to that race, and he'll be primed for a big run at Chepstow, obviously, like I said, on a track which he's already won at, and he'll appreciate the conditions, and obviously will come on big time for the run. The 140, the juvenile hurdle. Now, I don't normally have much say in the juvenile division, especially this time of season. I was very impressed by Sonic Pioneer of Martin Keithley, who won really impressively up at Kempton first time up, and I like the chances of him here. I know the Gary Moore horse will be short because he won really well at Sandown first time, but Sonic Pioneer was really impressive at Kempton. Comes here off the back of that. The third has come out and won since, so the form's got a decent look to it, and I just think he's got a decent each way claims at around 7-1. 2 more races to go, and then that will wrap the video up. We've got the 210, the handicap hurdle over 3 miles, and the one I like in here is Royal Rambler for Emma Lavelle. 5th and 6th so far this season in handicaps. Not looked the horse maybe of last season. It comes back to a course which he won at last season over 2.5 miles in February. Hopefully that will spark him back into life. He looked a very well handicapped novice going into this season. Hasn't really transpired into that so far, but hopefully back to a course which he's won at previously could bring out more improvement. So that's Royal Rambler. And then the final race we're going to touch on is the Welsh National itself. Jubilee Express is favourite for Sam Thomas. 2nd in the race last year. Wouldn't take anything away from him. Obviously got Gitmaker in 2nd favourite. A lot of people fancy him, obviously, with that form from the Kim Muir a couple of years ago. Finishing 2nd behind the now Gold Cup winning I like the way you're thinking. But yeah, the one I like in here, I mentioned him earlier on, is Deafening Silence for the Skeltons. Tristan Doyle will take the ride. No problem with that at all. He's been winning big handicaps for the Skeltons down the line. Obviously, he won he won on Panic Attack, didn't he, at Newbury. And I think he's won another big handicap for him as well, Tristan. So there's no issues with him in the saddle. Obviously, Harry's gone for a decent book up at Kempton, like I've mentioned already. But yeah, 2nd in the rehearsal chase behind Confession, who hopefully will go and get the job done in the Royal Merrick on Friday. Doc Pitney was 3rd. He's obviously won at Doncaster, and he's just low mileage for this horse, and low weight, low mileage, and I just think this has been plotted a long way out from the Skeltons. This horse will stay and stay and stay. And as long as he's going well, coming down the home straight, you'd like to think he's in with a decent chance. So that's Deafening Silence. So just a quick flick through the cards, and just to tell you the best bets for the 2 days. We're going to have three on Boxing Day, that being Wendigo, Gaelic Warrior, Wendigo in the Quarto Star Novices Chase, best price currently 5-2. Gaelic Warrior in the King George, currently best price 3-1, and Confession in the Roland Merrick up at Wetherby, currently best price 7-4. And then on Saturday, back at Kempton, Mambo number 5 will be the first one in the Wayward Lad, and Deafening Silence will be the other best bet on the card up in the Welsh National at Chepstow. I hope you all enjoyed the video, guys. Please like and subscribe to the channel. I will be back on Sunday covering, maybe for Saturday or Sunday, covering the Newbury card, where the Challow is the feature of the day. And then I'll be back again Tuesday to cover New Year's Day racing at Cheltenham. But I hope you all enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Hope you all have a good Christmas and a good day's punting on Boxing Day and the 27th. Be lucky, guys. Happy punting to you all.